Hi, we're Mistress of Flavor, and you're watching liveprog. And it's a wrap.
Yeah, we're here with Oliver Phillips.
For a couple of hours already.
Yes, for a couple of hours. And I wish I had the cameras rolling before, because boy, you missed out. No, but, well, basically, I'll show it. This album, Secret Passion by Imperia, is basically the reason why we're here sitting together.
Sure.
Because, a bit of a chance meeting. When Helena was kind enough to record some video for my review, and you helped with getting the files to me, then we got in touch. And well, I must say I was kind of happy to be in touch with you, because, well, I know you from Everon and from the Space Lab studio, and I was kind of wondering how you were doing now. So here we are.
Now you know.
I know. Well, let's do a quick jump to the past. How do you look back on Everon?
How to look back, I think it was kind of actually like the mothership for everything that came afterwards. It was like the start of everything. For me, it was like in my 20s, let's say, I was doing the band as my main thing, and then afterwards we started the studio. Yeah, I think everything I do now I wouldn't have done without Everon, let's say.
Yeah. Okay.
And of course it was a cool time. Like, it's just fun when you are young and you're playing a band. And it's a time I wouldn't want to miss out on. So.
Yeah. One thing I found interesting, and I heard that saying before, because of course Everon was on the SI Music label. It was in the progressive rock corner. But you said, what about progressive rock?
What did I say about progressive rock?
Well, were you aware that
No, I didn't even know the term.
Yeah.
Actually, I really didn't know the term. It was like we made the first album on our own, without a record label, and then in a review in Rock Hard, they wrote it was progressive rock.
Okay.
So that was the first time I heard the word.
Yeah. It's interesting, because I think these days you have a lot of bands that, well, really set out to be a progressive rock band, maybe inspired by Yes or Genesis or whatever. And of course, well, something like with you happened. And there's recently I came across a band from England called IO Earth. They also they made an album, and well, they also didn't know what progressive rock was. So
yeah, it's like fans always think that if they like a band, that the musicians would listen to the same kind of music that they listen to. Most of the time, it is not like this.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it is. I don't find it so unusual.
Yeah.
I think it's quite typical.
Yeah. Okay. So well, you made a number of albums, and then yeah, it became a little bit quiet.
This is a bit hard. No, it's just, let's say that the making of North, that was the last one. This already took us so long to make, just because of all the other commitments. Like particularly Moshes and me, doing Space Lab Studio at that time. We were like involved in somebody's production all the time, and then like you don't have the time for your own thing anymore. It just gets different, you know. When we started, it was not only started the first couple of years. Like Everon for all of us was like the main thing to do. Musically, the main thing to do. So we were practicing or rehearsing like 4 days, 5 days a week. And when you make music your profession, and you are not fortunate enough, let's say, to make it big with your own band, so then you do other things, like in our case, production or composition or arrangement, whatever comes in. Then your mind is busy with music all the time, and actually you have to do this kind of work, particularly that I'm doing, like with bands, with the same dedication that I do my own music with. You cannot do both at the same time. If you do like 10 hours in a day with a band, in the evening you cannot just switch and dive into this other world of life, like your own music. It just doesn't work like this. And then you end up with making kind of lame compromises with your own music, because you're not in it like with your full mind. And I think it's not right.
Yeah. Okay, so well, you basically moved on to the studio work, initially with Space Lab Studios. that was set up for Everon.
That was the idea.
Yeah.
Actually, we started Spacelab Studio when we made Venus in 97, 98 or something, God knows. The idea was to basically only record our own albums.
Yeah.
And then it became slightly different. Then we recorded everybody's albums except our own,
Okay.
because we never had the time for it. But
Yeah.
it wasn't actually intended to be like a profession.
Okay.
It just happened.
It happened. Okay. Well, of course that doesn't have to be bad. I mean.
No, it's not that I had another job that I had to leave for it.
Yeah.
So it was fine with me.
Yeah. Of course. Well, of course it meant for the fans from Everon that yeah.
No, but we still did like actually
Yeah.
the good Everon years, like music-wise, were just to come when we started Spacelab.
Yeah.
Because Phantasma, Bridge and Flash, this is what I consider the best albums. This we all did when we already had the studio.
Yeah.
Actually, at this time, like I think the enthusiasm was still. Actually, it was also the best time because you had like the enthusiasm still,
Yeah.
but also you had acquired the skills of how to do it.
Yeah.
Like got a bit more mature, got rid of all this twiddly bits bullshit, and learned a bit about production things. Like Venus actually was badly suffering from the fact that it was like Moshe's and mine first production. So at least Moshe's knew something. I didn't know anything. I had no idea like what all these mobs did. So it's not exactly a brilliant production. And then later, of course, this got much better.
Yeah.
And just with Northern, it became really, really difficult. It just took so long to make. We always had like reserved periods for ourselves.
Yeah.
And then everything we had put there went overtime. So we always had to postpone. If you are like chewing on an album for 2 or 3 years, then when you finally get to the point of finishing it, you're almost tired of it yourself.
Yeah.
So this is I just don't have a very good feeling about the album. I don't think it's a bad album, probably, but these people seem to like it. But to me, it doesn't feel like the same
Yeah.
as the other ones did.
Okay. So now, yeah, well, you've moved on completely at the moment to studio work. Are you more or less working as a producer, or do you have other things as well?
No, actually, when I left the studio, like Spacelab Studio in 2006 or 2007, and actually at this point I didn't want to work anymore as a producer at all.
Okay.
Because I was sick and tired in particular of the business side of it. Because let's say dealing with record companies as your clients is not exactly like waking up in paradise one morning. It's a pain in the ass, actually. Like the entire. There is a few exceptions, but in general, like as for business behavior, I think this is the most terrible it gets. So then I started to instead write and compose music for films, for commercial things. Just like what's so-called functional music, which is a much more healthy business. But then, as things go, a couple of bands just came back. Let's say there were some that just stick on me. Let's say.
Yeah.
So in the first place that was Delain, which was a band where I really very closely involved in the whole process. Yeah, but then there came others, like then the Serenity and Imperia and there was a band from Spain, was the Nocta, and the Wolverine, of course.
Yeah.
So strange enough, I end up again doing a lot of productions with bands.
Okay.
But it wasn't exactly my plan.
Okay.
Late at night we grab our things, take the car and hit the road, follow the old familiar trace, laid in the secret code, the same old village by the sea. Once a second home for you and me.
Back to the music.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, but you've worked with, well, you mentioned some names like Delain, Imperia, Wolverine. I just looked in the booklet of the latest Wolverine album, and just curious. But basically, what do you do for a band like Big Delain, for example?
Yeah, but it's different from band to band.
Okay,
like with
different.
Delain, for instance, it's a very special construction because with Delain I don't even work as a producer. I never did.
Okay.
With Delain, I'm more like a. Let's say I'm involved from the moment of the songwriting. We do the pre-production together. I do the arrangements of most of the stuff. Most of it like together with my time. He's like the main person, Delain, and we can't really work as a team.
Yeah.
And the songs kind of slowly grow in that process, and it's kind of I play of course a lot of the albums as well. I work very closely with a vocalist as a child, which is something I really love doing, like working with vocalists, doing vocal arrangement and kind of stuff. This I really like. But I'm not a producer. Actually, in Delain, I'm kind of like, I would say, like an external musician. With a band like Serenity, for instance, this is the typical producer job, because there I'm also taking a lot of the decisions, let's say. Like in Delain, I don't take any decisions at all, actually. So it can be different from band to band. With some bands, I'm just asked to do like orchestrations, which is like one of the main working fields I do. And sometimes I just play guitar. With Wolverine, I just went there to record the vocals, because like Stefan and I are old friends, and he's like also like a singer. I really like to work with. He also wants to work with me. I'm kind of his vocal nanny, if you want. So even in Sweden, they didn't want to record without me. So it's different from band to band. It depends on what they need and what they want.
So it's how do you say it? You just look at a situation of a band, and from there on you just...
it's actually what I do is a job which actually doesn't exist normally in music.
I
think this is a profession that usually doesn't exist. It's a bit like what a producer did like in the old days. Like this kind of producer that basically just deals with the music. Nowadays, most of the time you don't have it anymore, because just budget doesn't allow it. So usually you end up in the studio with an engineer who's also doing the production part. That was different in the old days. Like the producer was really supposed to just work with the music. This is actually what I do, because at the technical stuff I'm quite useless, to be honest. I don't know much about it, and I don't even care much.
So it's basically a bit of old school, the way you work.
If you want to, yes.
Okay, well that's of course very nice, and well I'm pretty sure, I mean, the albums that I have that I know you worked on, I gotta say those are really albums that I enjoy listening. So
of course you never know.
I never know if that's you or the band.
Yes.
No, of course. Now you've been a musician for a while, and now you're more or less in the studio. But if you do you keep up with the current music?
Actually, very much. For the particularly when you do functional music, like for film and that kind of stuff, you have to be very much aware of what's like the latest. So I'm like more into this than I am with, for instance, like what's going on in progressive rock or something like this. This is something I don't do often. Like really, I don't even have much of the time to really sit back and listen to albums just for the fun of it. But of course, you need to keep an eye on what's like going on. Or also when you work, let's say, with a band like just Delain or whatever, it doesn't matter who it is. It's important to understand their kind of musical world. So I try to listen to what they tell me, like what they like and what they're kind of looking for. So then this is what I listen to, just to get the picture of what they're looking for.
That's of course very important.
Yes.
Do you still go to concerts?
Occasionally, but not so often. But this is more for the reason that in the Everon years I kind of ruined my ears a bit. So I'm very sensitive to really loud. So if I go to concert, then I rather see like classical concerts, or it also is nicer for me like in bigger venues. Like the worst is like club gigs, which is actually those which are the biggest fun. But this is not good for my ears anymore. Actually, I'm not deaf or something, but I have like tinnitus and stuff, and this is. It's no problem at all usually if I deal with it reasonably, but if I'm like really loud music, you have like fun for a week or two.
Okay, I can understand that. Okay, now, I'm kind of done.
Okay, so thank you.
It was nice to have a chat with you and well, see how you're doing at the moment, and it's very interesting. Definitely, well, of course we have Imperia on liveprog. Hopefully we'll get Wolverine on liveprog as well, maybe the new Delain, because well, they're not progressive albums per se, but I think the people who like progressive music will kind of like that music as well.
I think there is like overlaps in the genres, basically because of the overall actually like this entire like gothic rock female genre, however you want to call it. They have like this kind of larger than life arrangements in it, which a lot of the progressive guys like.
That's
not
true.
so much like the old school guys that are really into the 70s stuff. but for more modern progressive rock, you have a lot of these sound sketches, like orchestrations, choirs.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm sure there is like overlaps.
Yeah. So, well, it was nice to have a chat with you, and I want to thank you for giving the opportunity.
Coming over.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot.